Welcome. It is December 30th, 2023. My name is Barbara With, and I am here with some of the psychic sorority members and also members of the party, Einstein, and we're going to take a look today back on 2023 and look at where we are now and see where we're headed for 2024. And I'm very excited about hearing whatever these messages are. They are sure to be inspiring. And lately, Einstein has been going even deeper, if it's at all possible. But as we become more capable of understanding more complex systems, we become more capable of hearing what he has to say about those complex systems. So I hope that you enjoy this. Also, I am on a world tour, as you may or may not know, and on my website at synergyalliance.llc, you will find all of my locations of where I'm headed for the next couple of months. I'm going over to the UK and jumping over to France for a little while, but mostly I'll be in the UK. But I'm also open. If somebody wants to invite me to a group that you want to organize, I'm totally open to bringing this message and this information in whatever way that I can. And I started out channeling in living rooms, and I'm very comfortable there. So think about that. And if not, just sign up on the website and keep track of what's going on, because I have a feeling in my bones that big things are about to happen for us. So in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody who's been listening for all of these many, many years. And I'm so appreciative of the work that you've done in your own lives using this information so that I too can see more research, more development into conflict resolution and these amazing unified field theory and maps of human consciousness and the scientific definition of compassion. All of this, it's so timely now. And people want to know how they can become the change. And we have very practical solutions here. So sign up on the website. I'm also going to have some upcoming online courses in all of this. I'm working on those now, and I'm excited for them to be done in 2024. So happy holidays to everyone. And here's wishing you the absolute best, most magical, mysterious, manifesting 2024 that you can possibly dream up. Peace. All right, let's begin by centering ourselves wherever we are, whatever chair you're in, whatever car you're driving in, whatever mat you're lying on or your bed, wherever you are, center yourself. If you're sitting in a chair, put your feet on the floor and sit up straight. Get square and centered. And start to really be aware of what your breathing is doing. Really fill up your chest as you breathe in. Feel your shoulders lift up. And hold that air in your lungs before you exhale it. And as you breathe in, feel what that action of breath is doing to your body. Your shoulders are moving. You're probably swaying a bit if you're trying to sit up straight. You feel your solar plexus expand and recede. So it's this connection to the breath that is the part of the shared part of the gravitational wave between the non-physical and the physical. It's the breath that makes that connection. When you plug something into the wall, there's a metal connection that makes an electromagnetic charge. That's what this breath is. And as we sit here together, we're all over the place. Some of you are here in the same time, December 30th, 2023, at 11:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and all correlating time zones that radiate from that. Some of you are here and are also in the future, listening again. So let's hear today, in the live moment where we're all listening to the first expression of these ideas, picture and imagine that energetic part of you in a different time, listening again to the same words. And in a way, you can almost imagine yourself a part of the party. So when you imagine Einstein in the party, if you close your eyes and you imagine you see this literal party that just keeps getting bigger and bigger all the time, it really is a party. And you see it in your mind of these many, 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 many people of all kinds, of ages, all eras, many who you knew, some that were historical figures, etc., and so on. When you're in that space, in the non-physical, that is the part of you that is also listening, maybe in 2 days, maybe on January 2nd, 2024. And what we're doing here is we're connecting different parts of ourself, just calling out. It's as if we're all sitting here on the emotional part of this gravitational wave that's just the primordial soup. We haven't assembled yet. We're literally an ocean of fractals programmed to be who we are in the lens. And it's from this place that today we will command that only the most divine light shine down upon us at this time, and the greatest good be present here. It's from this place, on this wave, before there's definitions, before there's a lens, before there's even intuition. There just is. It's the I am. I am Lynn. I am Linda. I am Debbie. I am Barbara. I am Barbara. I am Linda. I am Debbie. I am Barbara. On and on and on to the whole entire planet and billions of people. So when you say and own, I am, you are owning all of the whole of the planet, all billions and billions and billions of people. And through this past year, you've been through so much already, but this past year particularly has opened you up to deeper parts of yourself where your power lies, and specifically where you have been standing in the way of your own power. And we want to look at that as we close out 2023. We want you to think about this year as, what lessons in self-love did you learn? And when we say learn, we don't mean understand like you read a book. We mean truthfully, authentically What lessons in self-love did you learn and implement so that they had an effect upon the manifestation of your life? Because what humans have been doing for so long, not because they're bad or wrong, but because that's the pattern that evolution is breaking you out of, is that you've lived with what you haven't wanted to live with, what hasn't been good for you to live with, and yet you don't know any other way out. And so 2023 was about not just understanding, but putting into practice all that you say that you believe and that you think that you are. And when humans begin to do this one at a time, this is the spread of that evolution. This is the synergy that happens when people are all working for the good of the whole. That something much, much greater than you can even imagine manifests. So when you find peace in yourself and in rigorous self-scrutiny of the complex system that you are, you shouldn't have to strive to achieve peace in the details of your life. The peace that you're seeking can only be found within. The details of your life are always going to have the elements of creative chaos. You're not here to stop the process from being creatively chaotic. You're here to learn to harness it and harvest it. Think about the difference. You're not here to stop it. You're here to become it as a way to master it for your own domain, for your own universe and your own life. As you approach these last hours of 2023, a 7-year, think back to the challenges, but also think back and identify the times when you demonstrated your alignment to compassion. And there was an outcome that was profound and revolutionary. The challenge that we now see humanity finding is not so much will they understand this, because we think that what all of you who are been looking inside and looking to self and wanting to become the change, what you're learning in that is so much about yourselves. You've turned your focus and pried it away from the external world and the endless dance of drama that goes on that can just drain energy just by creating it. So all of you who have been intentionally seeking this inner world for your whole life, and of course many lives, now is that time of unification. And it doesn't mean that you snap your fingers and everything's all completely different and you never have to pay attention again. It means that you are fuller, richer, and deeper by nature. That you are more aware of who you are than you were a year ago. That you learned about yourself, about those you love, about how you treat yourself, about how the world will treat you. All of this is invaluable experience that you came here to have, including the physical ailments. Because this is a time where the stress levels are maximized by all of the things that you've been through, that you're living in. And that stress level pushes all the operating systems. It's not just a stress level on your eyes or a stress level on your stomach. This is a stress level to every single system of this complex system that makes up the physical world. And you're coming down the birth canal, being pushed out. You're all having a different relationship to it. Some humans are not wanting to come down the birth canal because they sense something completely unknown that they may not want to deal with. Others are racing to get out because they also sense something unknown that they want to go explore and discover and master. Now, why one is one and one is the other, there is your mystery. Just accept the mystery, that it's a combination of things that probably aren't provable, of why you come here better at singing than someone else who comes here with a natural knack for fixing cars. Just appreciate that it's these mysterious gifts that compassion endows upon you, all volunteering and choosing to be the person that you are. And this year of learning to self-love, is the setup for 2024, which is the year where, as we said, you take that self-love and you push yourself and put yourself to the test. When we say push yourself, we're not talking about more stress. In fact, we're talking about just the opposite. We're talking about pushing yourself past the pre-programmed stories that have been imprisoning you your whole life, and surrender into the complete detachment about whatever happens in your life. And we hear egos right away saying, oh, we can't detach that much. We have to stay here and organize and make sure everything's going okay. Otherwise, the whole system will probably come crashing down if we're not in charge. So as you go into 2024, that is what the self-love is going to begin to transform. And by being challenged to transform those kinds of imbalances, you are being given the platform to take another evolutionary step. What we often wonder is, how can we make it easier on your intellect? Your intellect is where all of the conflicts lie. It's where the work really needs to be done. The awareness, when you're in your witness, of understanding the power that the intellect has on the whole system. It's sort of like having 3 children, and inevitably one of them is always going to be caught sneaking off and doing something mischievous. Well, the other 2 you can find right there being beautiful and predictable. And we don't mean any of that as if it's a negative thing. It's just you have these 3 different children. You deal with them differently. You deal with your emotion differently than you deal with that raging intellect that will do anything to keep control. One of the things about personal empowerment in 2024 is learning how to circumvent that part of yourself to get the greatest impact. So this is playing chess with yourself. There's nobody else on the board but you and you. And every either person outside yourself or physical ailment, physical conflict, is for you by you breaking the patterns of looking outside yourself for an authority figure to tell you what it is, for someone to tell you what to do, for some kind of acknowledgement that what you're guessing you should do is right. There's all of these behaviors programmed in that you're breaking free of. And never underestimate what it is that we're asking you to be aware of. We are basically asking you to detach from everything in your culture, whether it's good or bad, detach from everything as if you don't know what's really going on, unless it's right in front of your face. Then it's there. There it is. What are you making? What are you manifesting in the lens right now? That's what's real. Nothing else. Everything else is just potential. It's hard to let go, a lot because of death, but a lot because that ego piece of you, which is the mechanism in the operating system that actually is programmed with the power to make the decisions and to make the body move, to make the body take the steps that implement the decision that ego wants it to, that wants the body to. The ego has been given that incredible power that really is the power of life and death given to the ego without anybody else having any say. Doesn't matter what your emotion or your intuition says, ego's been given that power. And because of it, ego has also been trashed and disrespected and told that it should die. And that's not right either. That is part of the problem now. And it's also part of the problem of when people give up to a cult. There's a kind of a ego relinquishing decision-making power that you give into the group mind. In this case, we want to reform and restore ego to its original purpose and operation. In that case, there's a lot less work and a lot less energy. Because when ego knows it's not in charge, that its only purpose to act is driven by intuition, and that all the other time, its attention is not supposed to be how to construct possible futures or deal with possible pasts. Its purpose is to take in the data from present moment of what's going on and start being the receptacle of creative solutions, always in the forefront, asking the question, what is good for the whole? Even just as a question, without even finding an answer or having be the one that takes responsibility for the answer, just having that questioning, open inquiry to hear, what is that? As you let go in these ways, these are very intricate, intimate ways of letting go, then everything else shifts around you. This is the deepest work that you can do. Think of it as learning to become a mechanic of yourself and your operating system, because the operating system works the same way for every human, but what's different is that free will, that by you having a particular gravity that identifies you as you in this space-time DNA body, you have brought with you, by coming here to be here in this time, the new potentials that need to be practiced, need to be talked about, need to be exercised, recognized, integrated, discussed, and maintained. Moving forward in this great understanding of self, self-empowerment, the year of self-empowerment. It's vital that you think of yourselves going yet into a deeper level of transformation. This isn't ordinary times. These are not like anything you've been through before. The experiment is up to you. You can think about these things, or you can practice working for the good of all, dedicating your life to every day, making sure that you are taking care of yourself no matter what's coming at you in any given moment, that you have nurtured this witness and this self-awareness that goes with you everywhere. There can be no separation from the I am of you and the part of you that can witness it all. It's a natural part that you're learning how to use and get to know. So next year, there's powerful manifestations that come into play. Be prepared not to have all the evil just stop in the world, but be prepared to feel the turning, the underneath truth that is turning and working in each individual. And to this end, for your own thriving, your own life, your own karma, your own I am, as well as helping this big step in evolution come about, to be able to intentionally work with that truth that you are holding this space of this evolutionary step that is happening right now. It's not an ordinary time. It's an extraordinary time. Extraordinary time for you to access your power, an extraordinary time for you to let go of having your ego in control and cultivating a bigger sense of identity that has a lot more mystery in it, but give that intellect its beautiful place. Let it sing. Let it write poetry. Let it express itself, all while being a part of the whole collaboration. And you're going to see things over here start to turn, and things over there start to turn, things over there start to turn. And then you see what we hope you can correlate is the difference between when you do the work deeply and then what you see manifest around you. When you deeply do the work, if there's only one of you here, how much deep love and compassion and understanding and honor can you give yourself? How much can you do that for yourself? Because that's what this change of empowerment is predicated on. And some of you have been working on this for so long that it's getting to be apparent what it means. And you're getting to that place where it is getting easier. Not that life is easier, but your mastery of your inner trust of self, that you're going to self-love no matter what anybody says about you, no matter what story your intellect wants to tell you about why this or that or the past or why you can't be happy, no matter what, you are going to align to compassion. And you know it. And this is part of that journey. It's why you're pulled to it from within. You are evolutionary creatures who have come here, volunteered, and were chosen to be here right now in this time and in this change. And as you see these things taking place, these turnings, the manifestation of the turnings, don't sit on your laurels, but continue to be a peacemaker in your world. Continue to see, especially we're going to say politically, where you are us versus them. Are you saying left or right? Are you saying Republican, Democrat? Right now, politics will be the biggest triggers, even bigger than war and World War III. Politics is going to reveal and does reveal the biggest triggers. So if you're willing to go there to see your own triggers, that would be very helpful. Because what some of you do is you just make up the decision that you're not going to talk about it. And that's fine. No need to be squabbling over something and just wasting energy. Being triggered shows you where, okay, so you've been not talking about it, but that hasn't really made it go away. So don't be concerned if you get triggered. It's part of the cleansing, healing process to show you what you need to see. It's the ultimate self-healing tool that you can have if you are willing to use it. The trick is, as we said, the ego has been in charge for so long, and like an angry dog can keep barking away the intuition. No, 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 no. And sometimes when you get closer and closer to the resonance of the truth and you can't deny it anymore, sometimes the ego can go to the extreme. Take a life, take another life, take one's life. That's how extreme the ego can be, life and death. So more than ever, Think about what you're going into for this upcoming year as this perfect opportunity to resize, restore, relax the ego, let it relax. Have some good sound bites on hand when you find yourself stressed by overthinking. You don't need to know why. You just need to feel and breathe. And as you feel and breathe, surround yourself with the most divine light, starting at the top of your head. And feel that white light spreading through your head and the muscles on your face. You take an inhale and you feel that white light surging down your neck and into your shoulders with this warmth, down your throat, down your shoulders and into your heart. And take a breath directly into your heart. And all of that light gains power as it moves down into your torso and it envelops all of your organs and your tissue and your blood, sending with it the healing divine Christ-line light that is your Christ consciousness, with intention to heal and keep safe and strong this physical body. And breathe in, feel that white light fill up your torso and down your legs, through all of your joints, your hips lit up with light, healing light, helping to revitalize and regenerate all of those connections that make up that complex system of your hips. Same with your knees, the warmth, the healing power of your own Christ-line light. And feel all that energy moving down your calves and your shins, really wrapping up your ankles in this warm, healing light, spreading through your feet, your arches, your heels, your pads and your toes, the top of your feet. And as you breathe in, feel that you are one light body. And inside that light body is this hologram that looks like you. And it has everything that it needs to be created like this. Its job right now is to learn to master the bigger system. And that's what you're doing. And you can make it as exciting and creative as you choose. That will be everyone's choice, no matter what happens in 2024 and onward. It won't matter what happens. You will make your choice. You've come here to live, to learn, to love, to live your best life, to live your most passionate life, to live your most loving life. And then you too will put aside your body at some point, and we will all meet up again at the party. And then it will begin again. Only this time, you will bring with you this mastery, and all will be well. So with all of that said, we will open for any questions or conversations you'd like to have.
Lynn here. I just wanted to say thank you as the silence was lingering. Wow, that's a lot to take in, but so much of it resonates as you had me going back over the past year and the realization that this channel has brought forth of I'm going to say, the necessity of many things that have occurred, and then the realization of their varied purposes and what it's offered me for growth, expansion, and my leaning more into compassion and love. Thank you.
Well, you are welcome. And we just like to say that you have worked very hard, not just with us, but certainly since this time that we've been officially working together. We feel as if you're going to make all kinds of headway in 2024 that you're doing right now, you're visioning and intending right now. And that the more of the surrender, and this, of course, is for all, but the more that you can surrender to present moment and what is actually right in front of you and calm the rest of the intellect, you're leaving room and space for the healing power of compassion to take over and really be the one in charge. Yes, Linda.
I was about to say almost word for word what Lynn had just said. It has been a very awakening for me this year. I do want to thank the party for this really, really insightful year-end message of bringing this all back into the forefront for me to digest again. And I really feel this. I feel like I'm on the right path. Thank you so much.
At the risk of being ironic, there really isn't a wrong one. The only wrong path that any human could take was to try not to be who you are. And we understand that humans do that. And you particularly have struggled in your life with really being wide open and authentic against the voices of culture that command that you're a nice person by behavior. Growing up under this cloak of that your worth was determined by your good behavior is the paradigm that you've been pushing up against. And it's very uncomfortable, but you'll be finding in 2024 that you'll get to that place of liberation. You've had it in spurts, but you'll get to a place where you're finally over a hump about it and you're liberated and you're at relief, and you're at relief to know that you don't even have to listen to us. We're not the authorities. Barbara's not the authority. Debbie's not the authority. And all of those books that you brought through the years to the table to read, they're not the authority. You're the authority. And when you accept that and pick up that power and master it, then is when that relaxation begins.
Thank you so much for that.
Any more questions? We'll close the channel by telling you all how deeply grateful that we are. This work is sacred work. It might seem like an ordinary Saturday. You're sitting around your kitchen table. The miracle of technology and Zoom. You're able to join us in this way. Don't get us wrong. We have been channeling through all kinds of devices. We have to say that this latest technology is certainly our favorite. This sacred space that is you deserves the greatest love that you can give it. The I am is not just you. It is you with your face, but behind you are the multitudes. When you surrender to that truth, you become more humbled in your pursuit of the greatest good. Because you have that responsibility of the multitudes that are also you. And that's why the ego that represents this human life in this DNA space-time body is only a small piece, but very necessary to operate the system, and then to take this evolutionary step wherein we can manifest the greatest good in the lens by going inwardly and surrendering to the truth of who we are. Compassion. At our root, we are compassion. And when we find that within ourselves, we'll only need to watch and be amazed. Namaste.